Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the firecracker. Let's cut one of these open, huh? Hey, welcome back. I wanted to have some real talk for a quick minute before I start this episode. It's in regards to something going viral on YouTube, or a trend, perhaps. I'm thinking more on the lines of the barbecue world. As of late, on a lot of live feeds that I go visit and watch, the barbecue world seems to be lacking anything viral right now or a real solid trend. The last ones were pretty good and sturdy. They stuck around for a little while. The smoked shotgun shells. If you're not from the barbecue community, you might want to take a look at it. It's quite heavy in that world. Or even something as simple as smoked cream cheese, which was kind of something, as mentioned by a couple other people that I've heard, something that wasn't really new, but smoking the block by itself was. I may have actually thought of one. It popped into my head early in the night last night, and my neighbors probably would have hated me for kicking on my smoker at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I think there's something to this. I think this could be a possible trend in barbecue. And whether I succeed or fail with this, we're still going to film this in full, and I'm still going to put it out there because it'll put pressure on me to make it right. Because honestly, at the end of the day, if I do get it right or in proximity to correct, there are so many options that fall behind this. It's scary. It's a very useful possible trend, with all kinds of options. So that gives me chills. That's what's had me up since 3 o'clock in the morning trying to think how to approach this through. So we're just going to start one step at a time with you guys. I'll bring you through the process the best I can. I do not have anything exacting on this, no proper measurements or anything. Because right now we're going to shoot from the hip, then we can dial it in. We could probably dial it in together. All right, let's do it. All right, so what we have here is a couple pieces of chicken, a drumstick and a thigh. Now, I obviously didn't invent the chicken. It's been around for a good amount of time. So I'm not trying to take credit for anything like that. But what I am going to do, on this thigh at least, we're going to take off a little bit of that extra fat. And I want to get the skin off of this. Now, my wife challenged me not too long back. She said, since you're running an eating channel, you want to make sure you're eating healthy, at least off camera. Because it's a good healthy choice. So I kept getting chicken, and I'm cutting off all this wonderful skin. It's, for me at least, when it's crispy, probably one of the best parts of the chicken. And then I was just taking it and throwing it out. It's kind of a heartbreak. So with this idea, if it actually works the way I want it to, I could take all of these skins, probably vacuum seal them if I want, keep them separated by parchment paper, keep adding to them. And then let's say I've got some guests coming over. That's when I can actually make this recipe. And this skin, this wonderful skin right here, is actually going to become the vessel. So, I wanted to try this with both drumstick and thigh. If I peel this right, I kind of almost feel like on the drumstick, it'll almost make like a tube. Mind you, though, I have to be a little bit gentle with it because I'm trying not to break it. But I feel like if I peel it down just right and get it past that knuckle, I could probably sever it just past the knuckle, and there you go. I will have a basic tube. And at least for the thigh, I'm going to have like a sheet. Now this is actually working out wonderfully, because now I have a tube that's past the knuckle. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Definitely need to sharpen my knives here at some point. Now, I'm going to do this with all of these. And then what I'm going to do is cut the actual meat off the bone and go from there. So, I can tell you right now, the drumstick size is going to be a little bit more of a difficult fill. But we're still going to try it nonetheless. And with some of the thighs, I might even actually try to put them inside out. And like I said, based on what I'm seeing right now, I'm thinking the thighs are going to be the way to go with this. I don't like the way this looks. So like I said, this is me doing something, never done it before. So we're learning, right? So if you're going to try this, I would highly recommend just focusing on the thighs, because that's a super nice sheet. And basically what I'm going to end up doing is deboning these thighs. Probably going to take, 3 or 4 of them. And for this episode, I'm going to mix them with a couple ingredients. I'll probably throw it through my meat grinder. And then I'm going to actually add a bit of Parmesan Reggiano, cracker crumbs, probably like a half stick of cream cheese, mix it up, let it chill, and then stuff these skins, roll them up, and then get them on the smoker. We're going to see what we get for a result. I might baste them in something, I might not. I might even just go as is this time around to see how this works. Because the idea is to get a bite through a skin. So, yeah, I think there's going to be something to it. Keep following along. I'm going to finish cutting all these up. I'm not going to bore you with me grinding chicken. It's no different than grinding ground beef. It's the same thing. But I'll probably bring you back when I do the KitchenAid mixing to get all this mixed up. And then we'll chill it out for a bit, and then we'll stuff these skins. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. I didn't bore you with the grinding down the chicken part. In some of these later episodes, I'm actually going to get into sausage making and stuff of that nature. So I'll give you guys a bit of in-depth on what kind of machinery I'm using and how I'm actually going about using it. Just to be clear, I am not sponsored by KitchenAid or anybody at that. So we're just going to go through the basics, like I said. This is just a recipe from my brain. We can tweak it as we see fit. There's going to be crushed crackers in this, so remember your salt content when you're seasoning. You don't want to overdo it. I am using about a teaspoon of my own rub, which we'll get into that one of these other days down the road. Half package of softened cream cheese, and I'd say about a cup and a half of freshly grated pecorino parmesan, I believe, if I remember right. My hopes is that the crackers actually help keep some of the juices in so that skin can actually crispen back up. But we'll see how it works as we go. After I'm done mixing this, I'm probably going to rest this back in the refrigerator for a little while to thicken back up, so it's a little bit easier to work with. Like I said, this is its own journey, because I've never made what I'm making. I haven't read a recipe about it. We are literally just improvising this whole entire thing, and hopefully we learn a little bit, and I can come up with solutions, and I either get it perfectly the first time around, to where I wouldn't change a thing, or I mess a few things up, and then we get to learn. And that's the best part about cooking. That is literally the best part. Now, I'm not saying go out and grab yourself an A5 Wagyu steak and see if you can boil it. That's not the type of adventurous that I would recommend. These are basic, common items that you can find in your store. There's nothing difficult about what I'm choosing to use. And yeah, let's get to mixing. And after the mixing, we'll start assembling these, and we'll get them out there on the smoker. All right. All right. So, a few things that I want to mention right through the rip. I only used half a package of crackers, by the way. I'm pretty sure I said the right amount of cream cheese. It was half the set of cream cheese. As far as that shredded cheese, I would like to say that was only about a half cup to 3/4 cup. So try to keep that in mind too, moving forward. Now, if I get this recipe right through the rip, we'll be able to adjust it accordingly. I actually ground down, out of 6 thighs, there was only actually 4 that were ground down. I actually ended up setting the meat and bones alike aside for, maybe a little off the camera soup or whatever I want to do down the road with it. But I couldn't use all of that actual thigh meat, obviously. So I'm thinking, since most of these are actually uniform except for that one, I should have probably scaled the actual weight of this out and divided it by 6 by weight to try to get everything somewhat even. But if I have a little left over, I'll just get creative with it. Figure something out. No big deal. But I know if this does work, I'm going to have a little bit of fun in some other areas. I have a whole entire turkey sitting in my freezer that is going to... that's going to be a wondrous thing to stuff. But this is what I'm trying to achieve at the end of the day. What I'll end up doing, because I'm not going to bore you through me rolling all of these up, I'm going to put a barbecue skewer through both ends. I'm going to season both sides. I'm going to use my rub, which isn't too high in salt. I think it'll cohabitate a little bit better with this. And yeah, I'm going to figure out how to evenly divide this between 6. And I don't want to bore you guys with me unrolling them and rolling them back up to fit everything. All right, so you guys will be seeing me again here in a few when I go to put them out on the pit. All right, thank you. All right, guys. So I've got them all rolled up. I've got them all seasoned. Originally, I was going to put a barbecue skewer in the ends of each one of these, but I noticed every time I tried, it kept trying to push the stuffing out. And I don't really want that, so I'm going to take a leap of faith here, and this is kind of a calculated risk, but what the hell, we're all learning, right? I rolled them so the actual seam, the overlap, is underneath. One of the things to bear in mind, too, is you probably don't want too much overlap either, because it'll end up creating a little bit of a chewy piece of skin. So I'm hoping I have just enough overlap to be able to avoid that. I figure if I smoke them on this rack right here, it'll start the process, it'll firm them up, and then maybe down the road I can flip them over and let the top part crisp up. Now I'd like to say with these being done the way they're being done, if I ever chose to, I could probably twine off the ends of them with a little bit of butcher's twine. You know, like I said, these could probably easily be baked. There's even a small chance they might be able to fry if I could figure out a way to keep them from falling apart. As far as outdoor footage, I'm probably going to keep that to the minimum. The neighbor's dog's outside right now. He's vibing and I don't want to be interrupting him. And I'm sure you guys don't want to hear him barking in the background, even though he's a sweet pup. It's going to be a lot to hear. So we might do a little quick B-roll shot here and there outside on the smoker and then bring him in and see what happens. So it's the first of this type, guys. Cross your fingers, wish me luck. Alright guys, so here's what we're looking at right now. I just rolled these over. A little bit of seasoning fell off. I'll probably dust them again before we do anything else with them. I'm thinking about, you know, if they hit their internal a little bit quicker, if I want to crisp these up, I could probably put them in a pan inside the stove and run it under broil for about a minute or two each side. I'm already liking the way they're feeling though, and they're not coming undone. I think we're going to be a success with this one. We'll get back to here shortly. Thank you. Oh, here's my other chickens for later. Yum, yum, yum. Skinless. All right, we'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the firecracker. Let's cut one of these open, huh? All right, let's see what we got here. Whoa. Oh, I'm already liking what I'm seeing. Look at that. All right. All right, guys, let's give it that first test. All right. You guys might be thinking chicken nugget with this. So far from the truth. I mean, this is savory. It's got the richness of the cream cheese. I get a little of the saltiness from that Parmesan cheese, a little kiss of that smokiness. The skin probably wasn't as crispy as I would have liked it to have been. It still bite through. I did try to broil it, and it was starting to split. So I'm thinking maybe next time I use that knife blade and treat it like the guys do on a tournament when they're doing their chicken thighs. They scrape off a little bit of the fat underneath the skin. And maybe even introduce a little cornstarch or potato starch to it, just a dusting. But all in all, I'm stoked. I'd highly recommend it. I mean, this just became a way for me to save skins, and I could totally serve this as an hors d'oeuvre to a party. I'm sure the guests would absolutely love it. Everything about this is exciting, because with this being done correctly, I can actually stuff it with different types of meats. I can keep bringing this back. Anything from stuffing it with spinach, make a jalapeno popper version of it, of course. I can stuff it with different type of vegetables, different type of peppers, maybe use some blue cheese crumbles. This should be a trend. It might still require a little bit of tweaking to be perfect, but hey, be adventurous with your meats, guys. All right, well, thanks for coming to Dyslexic Dad's Cooking. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a very last-minute idea, and I'm really excited how this one came out. I hope to catch you guys again. Click the like and subscribe and share. Thank you very much. Have a good one.